What do you mean by perianth? When you are not able to distinguish calyx from corolla, we use the word called perianth. Racemose type of inflorescence, which you can also call it as indefinite or indeterminate type of inflorescence. Hello dear students, welcome back to session 13 of this long and lengthy chapter called Morphology of Flowering Plants. Myself, B. Shobharani from the Department of Biology, Vidhyaashram, Pre-University College, Mysuru. Now let us study about the next very important aspects of this chapter. What are we going to study? Hope you remember in my previous sessions I said the symbols and particularly the technical terms and symbols are very important. So now in this session, and particularly this session and the coming session also is very much important from examination point of view and also from practical part of view. You remember when I gave the introduction part, particularly from this particular chapter called Morphology, you have a question even in practicals. So I will explain how it is for your practical examination. So now let us understand the technical description of a typical flowering plant. Hope you remember when I was explaining about calyx K, then corolla C, androecium A, gynoecium G, then superior ovary, inferior ovary. So I said these are all the term symbols very important to write the floral formula, and this is nothing but called the floral diagram. How is the floral diagram drawn? Hope you remember I explained in the last session about estivation. What is estivation? It is the pattern of or it is the mode of arrangement of sepals and petals with respect to each other is called estivation. And what were the four types of estivation you studied? That is valvate estivation, twisted estivation, imbricate estivation and vexillary estivation. So when we take a particular example of a family and we need to describe a flower, then definitely we need to explain the diagram, the mode of arrangement of the sepals and petals with respect to each other. Now let us move on to this very interesting chapter session, and this is called floral diagram. FD, that is floral diagram. This is called FF, that is floral formula. Here you can see the outermost layer. I think all of in the last session I said first what comes? Calyx. This is the first whorl. Second is corolla. Then third stamens, that is androecium. Then next comes carpels. So first whorl, second whorl, third whorl. Stamens means what? Androecium. Carpels means what? Gynoecium. So first comes calyx, corolla, stamens and carpels. So here you can see this is called the calyx and this is called the corolla, and these are the stamens and these are the carpels, and this is how the arrangement is made. So this, based on that, we use a word called estivation, mode of arrangement of sepals and petals with respect to each other. Now let us see what is this. Various morphological features are used to describe a flowering plant. As I said, for calyx we use the word called K, corolla we use the word called C, for stamens we use the word called A, then carpels we use the word called G. So various morphological features are used to describe a flowering plant. So this description is in a simple as scientific language, in a scientific language, and presented in a proper sequence. For example, morphological features of a plant can be represented in what form? In floral diagram and floral formula. So you can represent them in the form of floral formula or floral diagram. So you need to describe a flower like when you write the floral diagram and floral formula, the whole floral diagram and floral formula will give you the clarity or the picture of a flower, how a flower is, how a plant is. How are the calyx, corolla arranged? What are the number of stamens? Whether they are fused or free? What is about gynoecium? Whether it is a superior ovary or inferior ovary? How many carpels are there? As you know, Already we have studied bicarpellary, monocarpellary, polycarpellary. Then in polycarpellary you have studied about tricarpellary, tetracarpellary, all that. So all that description you are going to have in this particular floral diagram along with the floral formula. Here you can see the floral formula. Actinomorphic, what do you mean by actinomorphic? Radial symmetry. You can see this symbol is symbol of a bisexual flower. Calyx, that is calyx, what are the units of calyx called? Here units of calyx is called sepals and units of corolla is called petals. Then units of stamens, that is the units of androecium is called stamens and the units of gynoecium is called carpels. Here you can see, here calyx, that is sepals are 4 but they are arranged in 2 rows. Calyx how many? 4. Then androecium, it is diadelphous. As I said, 4 plus 2, 6 stamens are there but they are arranged in 2 bundles. Then superior ovary, why do you call it as a superior ovary? Again I said, so this is called superior ovary or hypogynous flower, superior ovary. Then this is called inferior ovary or it is otherwise called epigynous flower and this is called semi-superior and or semi-inferior ovary. So I think we write all the symbols based on the position of the ovary. Based on the position of the ovary, we call it as hypogynous flower or superior ovary, epigynous flower or inferior ovary, perigynous flower or semi-superior and semi-inferior ovary. So you will understand all these terms. I think at once together you may get confused, but as I said, each and every point of what I have explained in the class is very, very important. That is the reason I said you need to have more of interest in the study. Only when you listen to all the concepts, like if you feel no, biology is so very boring with so many things to learn, but there is no other choice for you all. Can we compromise with the study? Never compromise with the study, nor with the quality of the study. Moving on to the next. So what is this floral diagram? So as I said, this is called as what? This is called as a floral. So this is called as the floral diagram. What is floral diagram? Is a graphic representation of flower structure. It shows the number of floral organs, their arrangements, as I said. So as I said, this is calyx, how it is arranged. This is petals. This is stamens. This is carpels. This is stamens. How are they arranged? And this floral diagram as well as the floral formula gives you. So floral diagram is a graphic representation of a flower structure. It shows the number of floral organs, their arrangement and the relation they have with one another. So different parts of a flower are represented by their respective symbols. As I said, the symbols are very, very important for us to write the floral diagram. So what is floral formula? As I already explained, floral formula is a system of representing the structure of a flower by using specific letters, numbers and symbols. Like as I have already said, you are using a symbol for radial symmetry, you are using a symbol called actinomorphic, bisexual, then calyx, that is sepals how many? 4, then corolla 4, then androecium 6 stamens, 2 plus 4, then gynoecium superior ovary and bicarpellary syncarpous ovary. So this is floral formula. As I said, it is a system of representing the structure of a flower using specific letters, numbers and symbols. Moving on to the symbols, very, very important. If you want to write the floral formula and the floral diagram thereon, then you should understand the symbols. Here you can see, if dot is given, that is called the position of the mother axis, then K, as I said, for calyx, C for corolla, P for perianth. As I said, what do you mean by perianth? When you are not able to distinguish calyx from corolla, we use the word called perianth. So what are the units of perianth called? Tepals. So when you are not writing K and C, then you will write P. When do you write P? When you are not able to distinguish in a flower the calyx from the corolla, then we write the perianth. A for androecium, G for gynoecium. Superior ovary, we write like this. Here for inferior ovary we write G bar like this. Then this is a symbol for male, this is a symbol for female, this is a symbol for bisexual and actinomorphic, then zygomorphic. Just go through the symbols. Symbols are very important for you all to write the floral formula and the diagram. So K for calyx, C for corolla, P for papyrian, A for androecium, G for gynoecium, superior ovary, but this is not square. Superior ovary put like this. So superior ovary you put G bar down like this. For inferior ovary you put G bar like this. For semi-superior, semi-inferior you put. This is for semi-superior and semi-inferior ovary. Then male, this is a symbol for male, this is a symbol for female, bisexual, actinomorphic. What do you mean by actinomorphic? Radial symmetry. You are able to cut the body of a flower. You can cut the flower into two equal halves in more than one plane or one direction. What do you mean by zygomorphic? You are able to cut the flower into two equal halves in only one plane. So all these symbols are very important. Here you can see how to write the floral formula using all these symbols, right? And thereon, by seeing this floral formula, you can draw the floral diagram. So the whole structure of a flower is represented by the floral formula and floral diagram. Hope you have understood how to write the floral formula and floral diagram. So there is one more I think you need to write. For example, epipetalous condition. Epipetalous condition, you write C like this. Then epiphyllous condition, you write, instead of C you write what? P like this. Superior ovary, inferior ovary, you write. Then gamosepalous, here you can write gamosepalous, you write K then bracket. Polycephalus, just K. In a similar way, gamopetalous, C, you write C then you write bracket. Polypetalous, you write C, no bracket, right? This is called epiphyllous. So all these are, so gamocephalus, gamopetalous, polycephalus, polypetalous. All this you have to understand to write the floral formula. So you can so now let us take the example of there are three very important families for you all to study for your syllabus. One is family Fabaceae, family Solanaceae and family Liliaceae. As I said, the three families are very important not only from theory point of view but also from practical point of view. So any one of the plant belonging to these three families, the classical examples I am going to give, it will be kept for your identification. You need to identify, either they will ask for writing the floral formula, the floral diagram, or they might ask to write the characteristic features of that particular family and with suitable examples. So this is very important from examination point of view. So now let us understand this with one very important family called Fabaceae. So this is the picture of Fabaceae family. Now description, how do we describe a family? So let us take an example of Fabaceae. Fabaceae is also called as what? Leguminosae, and this family was early called as what? Papilionoidea. As I said, it subfamily and a family called family Leguminosae. Now this is the example which is given. What is the example is given which is given for family Fabaceae? Pisum sativum. Common name is what? Pea, garden pea, right? Garden pea it is called, right? So this is the picture of a flowering twig. This is the picture of a flowering twig. B is a flower. This is B is a flower. Then C is the petals. Then the reproductive parts like the carpel and the floral diagram. So this is the floral diagram. Floral diagram. Right. Now let us understand so as I said, this plant will be kept for identification. So this plant will be kept for identification. So as soon as you see the plant, you can identify what is it. It belongs to which family? Family Fabaceae. What is the example? Pisum sativum. Right. Then you have to write the distinguishing features of this. So what is the distinguished features? Here you can see the leaves are alternate. Alternate leaves. See here you can see one here, one here. So leaves are alternate, usually pinnately compound leaves. And what type of inflorescence it exhibits? Racemose inflorescence. Now let us see the remaining characteristic features. So what are the three families we are going to study for your syllabus? Three families, both for your theory as well as for your practical. So these three families are there for your theory as well as for your practical. So first one, family Fabaceae. Example you're going to study is what? Pisum sativum. 2, family Solanaceae. Example, you can take the example of Datura or Solanum nigrum. Solanum nigrum. Or you can take example of Datura. Then family Liliaceae. Example Allium cepa, that is onion. This Pisum sativum. So whenever you are writing binomial nomenclature, never write the binomial nomenclature in brackets. So only the common name should be written in brackets. So what are the three families you are going to study for your type study of the families? Three families. One is called family Fabaceae. Example Pisum sativum. Pisum sativum. Family Solanaceae. The family example Solanum. Solanum it is. Solanum nigrum, or you can take example of Datura. Then family Liliaceae, Allium cepa, that is onion. So here we have taken the example of first family called Fabaceae. What is the example we have taken, which is given in your syllabus? There are many more examples belonging to this family. Can you study all the examples together? No, it's not possible. For you all to study one plant only, you find it so difficult. So the syllabus, so they have included only one example for the type study of one particular family. So only one example. It is not like family Fabaceae has only Pisum sativum. There are innumerable examples belonging to family Fabaceae. But for your study purpose, they have given, they have taken only one example. So what is the example that is given for the study of Fabaceae? That is Pisum sativum, that is garden pea. So now let us study, as I said, after that, after you identify the plant, you have to write the distinguishing feature. First, the name of the family, then the example, then the distinguishing features. Either they will ask the distinguishing features or they might ask only the floral formula and the floral diagram. Name of the family, example, floral formula and floral diagram also they might ask. Now, as I said, the distinguishing features, or you can also call it as characteristic features. What are the characteristic features? How is the leaf? Leaf is alternate, usually pinnately compound, already you have studied. Then what type of inflorescence it is? Racemose type of inflorescence, which you can also call it as indefinite or indeterminate type of inflorescence. Now we'll move on to the remaining characters of this very important family called Fabaceae. Example Pisum sativum. Here you can see presence of pulvinate leaf bases, then it is bisexual, zygomorphic flowers. So whenever you write the floral formula, you can start writing. Zygomorphic is what? Percentage. It is bisexual. 10 stamens and diadelphous condition. So as I said, so how do we write the floral formula? So here you can see the floral formula of this example called Pisum sativum. So zygomorphic, bisexual, calyx. Sepals are how many? 5, but fused. I have put a bracket, that means gamosepalous. And hope you remember I explained about the papilionaceous corolla, vexillary estivation which will have papilionaceous corolla. What do you mean by papilionaceous corolla? There are 5 petals. In that, one is bigger one called standard, 2, then 2. That is we call it as wing petals, standard petal, wing petal, then 2 called keel petals. So petals are of how many petals are there? 5. So it is 2, 1 plus 2 plus 2. But these are joined. So here you can see 1 plus 2 plus 2. Calyx how many? That is calyx 5. It is gamosepalous. Hence it is stamens are 10. Here you can see 10 stamens and diadelphous. What do you mean by diadelphous? They are arranged in 2 bundles, 9 plus 1. But 9 are fused. So you call it as what? Synandrous. All the 9 stamens are fused. So you use the word called synandrous. 9 plus 1. Then gynoecium superior ovary, monocarpellary. Here you can see monocarpellary, superior ovary. Legume type of fruit. So what is the floral formula you write? Floral formula you write like this. Zygomorphic, bisexual, calyx 5, gamosepalous, petals 5, 1 plus 2 plus 2, but 2 are fused here. Stamens 10 totally, but they are diadelphous. And why I have put bracket for 9 stamens? All the 9 stamens are fused into one bundle plus 1. Then superior ovary. What is it? It is superior ovary. Then monocarpellary. So how do we write this floral formula? See here we write it as what? See, this is the floral formula. This formula itself you can describe there. Here you can see zygomorphic. What do you mean by zygomorphic? You can cut the flower into 2 equal halves in only one plane. Bisexual, calyx, how many sepals? 5, but they are fused, gamosepalous. As I said, papilionaceous corolla means what? You use the word called papilionaceous corolla, which is a very, very unique characteristic feature of family Fabaceae. So all the plants that bears flowers belonging to this family Fabaceae will have this papilionaceous corolla, particularly Pisum you can see. So it is called papilionaceous corolla. One big petal called standard petal, 2 small petals called keel petals, 2 more small petals wing petals, 2 more small petals called keel petals, but they are fused. Whenever we write the bracket, children, it is understood that it is fused. Whenever you don't write the bracket, it is understood it is free. So you can see. And stamens, how many? Here 10 stamens, but diadelphous. Di means what? 2 adelphous. Based on the union of the stamen, we use a word called adelphi. Here it is monoadelphous means all the stamens are united to one bundle. Here it is diadelphous, 9 plus 1. But 9 are in one bundle and 1 is 1. So here superior ovary. Here you can see monocarpellary, 1. Then superior ovary. Whenever we write G bar down, it is understood as what? Superior ovary. Hope you have understood how to describe a family. Taking one classical example. Here we have taken the family Fabaceae and we have taken an example of what? That is Pisum sativum, and this is the floral formula. Hope you have understood how to write the floral formula. What is it? Zygomorphic, bisexual, K5, gamosepalous, C1 plus 2 plus 2, then stamens, that is A, 9 in 1 plus 1, G superior ovary, monocarpellary. So this is how you write the floral formula for a family. So this floral formula will be description of the whole plant, like calyx, that particularly about the flower, whole description of the flower structure belonging to that family, belonging to family. Now let us understand what are the other examples. Now what are the economically important plants belonging to this family called Fabaceae. So what are the important examples? As you know, leguminous plants, we usually use the word called what? Pulses. You can see in this beautiful picture, you can see the different types of pulses, right? So horse, green gram, horse, you can see the tur dal, all that you can see. And here you can see the soya beans, right? Green gram, all that you can see. So all these are commonly called as what? These are all called as pulses, which are very much rich in protein. So hence then we also use the word called pulses. Now well, let us see what are the economically important plants belonging to family Fabaceae. This is very important. Family Fabaceae. Economically important plants. Here we can classify them into pulse yielding plants and edible oil yielding plants. So pulse yielding plants, like for example pigeon pea, we use a word called togri bele. Scientific name Kajanus kajan. Then black gram, that is uddu. Vigna munga it is called. Soya bean, glycine max here. Then oil yielding plant, all of us know about groundnut, kadlekai. So groundnut, arachis, this is scientific name, hypogaea. Then soya bean, already I said, glycine max. So these are the examples belonging to this family Fabaceae. For example, name an oil yielding plant belonging to family Fabaceae, groundnut. Name a pulse yielding plant belonging to family Fabaceae, you can write any example. So you need to understand the family as well as the examples, like for example the economically important plants belonging to that family. So these are very, very important examples. As I said, the plants belonging to this family are sources of what? Pulses. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಪಿಕ್ಚರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಪ್ರತಿನಿತ್ಯ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ನೋ ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಲ್ಸಸ್ ಆರ್ ರಿಚ್ ಇನ್ ವಾಟ್? Rich in protein. So you can call them as a staple food. In everyday life, we should have this food in our daily life, in our diet, because these are all very much rich in protein. As you know, proteins are the building blocks of the body, and for wear and tear process also protein is very important. So when you have all this, so all these are the plant examples belonging to this family Fabaceae, and they are commonly called as what? Pulses. As I said, you can differentiate them into pulse yielding plants, then edible oil yielding plants. Here pigeon pea, black gram, groundnut, soya bean, all these are the examples. So dye yielding plants, we have this. See, we have so many examples belonging to dye yielding plants. Like we have indigo dye, Indigofera tinctoria. Name the dye yielding plant of family Fabaceae, that is Indigofera tinctoria. Commonly you use the word called Indigofera. Then fiber yielding Crotalaria gentiana, commonly called sun hemp. Fodder yielding plants, what do you mean by fodder? Food for cattle is called fodder. Food for cattle is called fodder. So fodder yielding plants, Sesbania. What is the scientific name? Sesbanian grandiflora. Trifolium pretense. Ornamental plants. What do you mean by ornamental plants? Showy plants. See, you can see so many showy plants also here. So what do you mean by ornamental plants? Showy plants, which are kept for showy purpose. One is lupin, that is Lupinus brevicalis. Then sweet pea, Lathyrus odoratus. Right? Then I think all of us know there are even medicinal yielding plants. So you have come across pulse yielding plants, edible oil yielding plants, dye yielding plants, fiber yielding plants, then fodder yielding plants, then ornamental plants, and then medicinal plants. So what are the medicinal plants? Like Glycyrrhiza glabra, it shows diuretic, and it is used for diuresis, the diuretic particularly to regulation of water, then expectorant for cough, etc. So it has all these properties. So it is having what? Even the medicinal value. So imagine one plant. We had just taken one example, that is Pisum sativum, but there are good many number of plants belonging to this family Fabaceae, which are either dye yielding, fodder yielding, fiber yielding, oil yielding, pulse yielding, ornamental, as well as medicinal plants. Hope you have understood all these concepts about how to write the floral formula, floral diagram, and we have taken one very important family here to study. That is, as I said, there are 3 families for your study. One is family Fabaceae, one is family Solanaceae, and one is family Liliaceae. So in this particular session, we learnt about family Fabaceae, taking one example, that is Pisum sativum, and we studied about the distinguishing characteristic features of this family. Then we learnt about the floral formula and floral diagram. I'll be back with two more families that is left for this particular chapter called Morphology in Flowering Plants. Till then, goodbye and thank you.